Hello, this is part 2 of my demonstration of Buildcraft Industrial Pack, Industrial Craft that is, and Technic Pack in general. A lot of cool stuff in all of them. Good morning, Jack Bauer. So last video we saw the source of the block stream, the quarry, and the automated coal, sugarcane farm thing. So now we will see what happens to those. Let's mine down a little bit here. There is a pipe here. This pipe is coming from the quarry. You see it gets boosted a few times. That's what the gold pipes do. I don't know if I mentioned that. But these are all blocks being sent from the quarry. They spread out a little bit once they're boosted. When they're traveling more slowly, they tend to bunch up. But yeah, that is coming from the quarry there. Shut up, Jack Bauer. And then there's another pipe coming from down below in my mine, which I might show. But all those get put into the chest behind here. This is the input chest. It's fairly straightforward. Let's put some dirt in there. And some resin. And coal. So you basically just throw anything to be processed in here. And then it uses these two redstone wooden engines, which you can just power off a redstone torch, and they don't ever explode when you power them. And then you have two, so it pumps twice as fast. I was kind of getting bottlenecked when I added more engines to the quarry. They're starting to build up. Yeah, you see it pumps out all these blocks here, and then they're boosted and shot out here. And they go through this filter. This has the yellow and black ends on it. The black one is coal, charcoal, and wooden planks, anything I would use as fuel regularly. And yellow is anything else. Let's go follow that coal. You can see it come down here. That's the same pipe. This is the engine room. That's what I call it. There's no engines in this room though, unless you count the redstone ones. There's generators, so it probably would make more sense to call it the generator room. These are all the coal that I put in the chest. About 16 coal, I think. And then, so it's very crowded. These are all industrial craft electricity generators. You just put, just like the steam engines, you put any kind of fuel in here and it generates electricity. You can see from this bar. And then I have these two battery boxes here and here. These hold 40,000 EUs, just electricity units. And they are able to output 32 EU per tick. And if you don't know too much about game design, at least in Minecraft, or in most engines, I'm not positive in Minecraft, a tick is just every frame draw. But yeah, these store 40,000 EUs. So they just serve as a nice buffer for the whole electricity system. So yeah, the two on the end, on each end, are run on coal, and then this one in the middle can either receive charcoal or wood. I don't use either that frequently, so it's not part of the automated system. I just like to have one there just in case for some reason. But similarly to the, I don't really know where to jump up over here. I build things too cramped sometimes. If they don't go into if there's no more room in the engine, they just shoot out the end here, and they fall into this obsidian pipe, which, like most pipes, I power it by a redstone engine, and it has a larger vacuum area, so that will suck these in here, and then they get boosted, and then they'll sent out either to the right or left here. They either retry the engine. So basically this is, let's see, the filters here sent to the engine. This is just a kind of complicated system to make sure that all the engines receive fuel and that any extras like this are cycled back into the system. Let me dig down here, it's easier to see. Ooh, it's still not very easy to see. But you see I have a couple one-way pipes here to kind of adjust the ratios a bit. What will eventually happen is any extra that doesn't go into the engines, just really extra, will go into this chest here, and then have a 50% chance of getting sent up to the main processing room, like that one. Oh, also, I should probably mention the electricity. These are electric wires. They're plugged into the battery boxes here, and these run all around the perimeter of the room, and also have a line here to power the machines we'll see on the top floor, which you can see where the wire goes up. So just pretend you know where that's going. This is the... oh, I have a sand block visible there. This is the electric line down to my mine, and the feeder line up from it. Oh, I sneezed there. Yes, so this is the main processing room. There's a lot of stuff in here. This is the line we saw before with the filter that goes for fuel and for other items. They go through this one-way pipe, and then the fun happens. So you just see what cobblestone, nothing too fun. Let's see how many items. Oh, there was an iron, or it was a copper. But see, they hit the filter that applies to them, and then they get sent down into this, the macerator. And what that does is it takes one ore block and produces 2 dust of that same type. So here we have 2 copper dust coming out, and this is really nice because each dust smelts to an ingot. So you're essentially doubling the amount of ingots you get from each ore when you macerate them first. So then we have an electric furnace. Works just like a regular furnace if it's powered by electricity, which is nice, especially in an automated system like this, where you see, we only had one like that, one coming through every once in a while. Because if it was a regular furnace, this would still be using up the rest of the coal here, and it would just be burning, not doing anything. But for this, it only uses the electricity it needs, and then it just keeps the rest. And also, I think it was 12.5% more efficient than a normal furnace. So let's cover all the inputs and outputs first. This is output to secondary processing. This is input from secondary processing. This is the return line from the output in case something needs to be reprocessed. See? Look at that. It just came from secondary processing, that iron block there. So that's where it kind of gets complicated, but it works pretty well. Oh, and then one more input. This is the coal overflow from the generator room, which is the name I'm going to be using now because it makes sense. And then since with the sugar farm going full force, the demand for coal can get kind of high sometimes, so I figured 3 macerators would be a good amount so that you don't get overloaded. Unlike the ores, this also gets turned into dust, just like ores, but only one. And I think you can burn the coal dust. I've never tried, to be honest. But what I use it for is much more fun. So all the outputs from these engines, they all go through all these one-way pipes up to this gold pipe, and then they all get boosted to the secondary processing room. So you see we have coal dust that gets sent out there. So let's go check out the secondary processing room and just see what that's all about real quick. I'm gonna cut a part here, actually. I need to blow my nose.